let's start with one of the most exciting things that we released in the last iteration was bring your prompt version. So basically you can take your own prompt and craft the messages that we are sending on your behalf with it. So today we are opening a contest where everyone can actually join and introduce their own template of sequences. So I'm going to share the screen and we can see how to download and take part of this contest. So basically we have the media kit of SalesMind, and inside you can find our prompt. So we have two, the sequence and the persona. And then this is how we now can actually have access to all the template and play a little bit with it. So if I open the JSON, for example, it is written this way. So we have each object is one specific sequence. And in the sequence, we have different steps. So in that one, step one is connection, order two is a message. And here, as long as the steps is generated by AI, this is a Boolean, and then the instructions that going to generate the message. And then eventually what we want is people that came up with their own instruction and giving them back to us for us to integrate all the template that they would like to see into the application when they start a new campaign. So very simple. So the file is quite long, but very simple. You can see that the order one is a touchpoint one. The instruction is what you can find in the instruction now. And generated by AI is a Boolean, here AI or human, right? So very simple, very straightforward. If you have anything that you think are relevant and you would like to add them into the existing template that we have, that you can choose the step of sequence, please feel free to take the file. You will find the link to download that below, and you will be able to have access to it and sending back to us. So you have the file that you can download as well if you have your own editor online. So that was for the sequences. And basically we do have the same with the persona as well. If you noticed and you have sharp eyes, already now in that version, introduce new persona template that you can use to start with pre-filled information in the search for the AI to find easily and easier your list, prospecting lead list. So you have both file here and you will be able to download that. All right. So now come up with the second and very exciting news that we're having for this release is the company followers import. So basically when you create a campaign, you go first through the first step, you select the right audience, the right persona that you want to use, and the step of lead. This is where we update something, and now you can import by LinkedIn company followers. So eventually what it means is, let's take one of our competitors, enriched, for example, and then I go into their page, I take the link of their page, right? And then I go back to SalesMind, import by LinkedIn company followers. I paste the link here, I check this checkbox, and then all the people that are working at enriched will be excluded, right? Simple. And I just include the link here, click on save, and I will start getting all the people that are engaging with the content that enriched have, and all the people that we can find that are relevant towards outreach. So either we have access to 6,000 followers, either we will go through every single post and get all the people that engage with their content. And then we ensure that we get people that are aware of the problem that you're solving. So that is very exciting. If you have your own company, we can get the lead from your own company. If it's another one, we get the people from all engagement that the company have. All right, very cool. Let's keep import the people. Basically, when you import the people this way, you ensure that the people are aware of the problem that you're solving and already even get in touch with your competitors. So you have way warmer people and more aware people. So it is easier for you to engage with them usually. All right, so now let's go back to the rest of the features that we introduced. And the next one is going to be the limit. Now you have access to the limit, and you can increase the limit to ensure that you have enough outreach. So basically, if I go to the agent, I go to action settings, and this is where I can have access to the account limits. And from here, you can see that now I can go up to 150 visits, follow, and messages per day. However, big disclaimer, here we need to ensure that you raise those limits gradually. If you go from 60 to 100 in a matter of a week, this is suspicious, right? So you need to upgrade 10 today, and then 10 perhaps in a few days, and then you increase gradually the limit, and then it will be completely seamless for LinkedIn. And then you will be able to increase the volume of messages that you send and the volume of leads that you're generating through one single profile. So at the end of the day, that have a huge impact. If you have 10 profiles, it means it can go to 600 more messages per day, right? So do it right, do it gradually, and increase that in the matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks to reach the maximum, right? Do it safely, but that is a very good accelerator for you to generate more leads from one single profile. All right, so now we're talking about how we can generate the lead. Let's see how we can now refine the strategies that we have with the current campaign and how we can build more precise dashboard. So we recently introduced the dashboard and the export, right? So now if you go to the inbox, you can simply select anything and export all the entire view that you currently have, okay? And if you already have this export, let's say I'm happy with that one, all right, and opening it in Google Sheet, right? It will go like that. As simple as that. It takes a while to load because the file is very big, but now we increase the amount of information that we are giving away in the export. Now you can find the headline, the profile summary, the last time we update, education title, everything about the education, and the MBTI. Now we're giving the psychological assessment that we run for you to perform anything that you want. So I will share a few examples of what you can do with it after, but at the moment, let's continue with what is the field that you have access. So the company ID, LinkedIn ID, what is the company name, what is the industry, the company website, the company LinkedIn, obviously, the country where we find those people, the geography, then the city, the postal code, the job title of that person, the job duration, so the time that person spend in the company, right? If it's a premium LinkedIn member or not, which team does that person belong to, what is a personal email, what is a professional email, right? Website URL, the phone, if we find it, and a few others. And this is where it's getting really interested, is the one who did the last activity and the tag that that person have and the conversation here. The status, are you connected? This person replied or not? The full sequence that have been scheduled for this specific person, the last activity and the last activity date and the message, right? So everything, I have around 1,500 row in that document, in that export, right? So I only have one, but I could take all my campaign and put everything inside. And then this is where we can start to actually build dashboards that will be very much specific about the audience or what is the information we want to get out of those. So very straightforward, very simple. We have one example of the things that we can do. For example, is the job title. I want to know what is the job title of the people that are interested about what I have to offer. All right, so I'm taking very simple formula, unique. So I get all the job titles that are in the column AA in the inbox, the tab inbox, very simple here, right? Yes. And I do exactly the same with the transpose here for all the tags that have been crafted in the inbox. All right. And then simply here, I do how many job title have the tag interested. I do that for the entire table, and then I do a chart. And then it is very simple to see that CEO and founder, which is a French job title, by the way, and chief executive officer have a way higher interest rate rather than founder or CEO. So I need to get the insight out of it and understand which job title I need to target next time that I'm building a campaign to have better results, right? Because you have to learn from the data to make data-driven decisions. Okay, so this is very spread out. Here I have, I don't know how many job titles different, but everyone can have a different job title. So something that you can do from the inbox directly is to use ChatGPT for Sheet and Doc. Basically, this is extension on Google Sheet that allow you to perform prompt based on the information that you can find on the row. So very simple. I'm taking BG2, right? So it is a row where I can find information about this person, right? As simple as the first name, the last name, the location. So everything that I have here, I merge everything into one single cell here, and I'm using that and the prompt GPT classify to actually get GPT to tag that person as a marketing, sales, HR, finance, engineering, and so on, right? So eventually it will classify those person, and then I will be able to have them grouped into one single audience to better understand that. So I do exactly the same. I do unique to get the entire collection of audiences that I have. It could be more, that will be dynamic. And then the same, transpose and unique for the tag. Interested and no, not interested, and so on. And I do exactly the same. Count if, how many people the audience says and are interested. And here, this is clearly that SalesMind is oriented toward marketing. This is where we see the most interest in the audience, right? So if I do that across my entire campaigns collection, I will be able to understand better my audience and build better and more precise dashboard and report at the end of the month to better understand how can I make better next month. But something else that we can do with ChatGPT is to understand the value proposition as well. So what have been the value proposition that have been introduced into the conversation? So here, AT2 is simply the conversation here. So we have in JSON format the entire conversation that have been happened back and forth with the prospect from our profile. And we see that the value proposition that have been offered in this conversation is scaling outreach efforts, right? So eventually, we understand which value proposition is interesting which audience. And then that helps us to find the product market fit and actually scale the outbound effort with a max of return of investment. Because if you know the salespeople, they need to have something, a solution that is helping them to scale their outreach, you can have only this value proposition to this specific audience, put 100 of profile, and that will convert higher rate. You do the same, you iterate, and then you learn and you improve the metrics over time. So basically that was it for how you can leverage the export additionally to feeding your CRM, right? You can learn from the audience. You can play with the data and GPT to actually tweak the data and do whatever you have in mind with it. We are really happy to get feedback. If you want, we integrate such a feature in SalesMind, such as finding what is the best value proposition, what is the best audience, what is the best job title of my audience and stuff. Please feel free to get into the application, into at the bottom right, scroll a little bit into here, and you can message us. Before you could, not anymore. It will be there. It will be there. Normally you can suggest a feature, and this is how we review with the team what feature next we prioritize. All right, cool. So next quick update that we have done for you to making the campaign creation even easier. Now, when you create a campaign, we allowing you to have different template for your persona. So eventually you can see what you can choose a persona, and we will define the different search below. So let's say, for example, I'm looking for startup founders, and here, basically everything is filled. I just need to validate whatever is there. I'm satisfied with it or not. What is the country? I still can't figure out what is the country I want to use. And basically that's it. I can save and continue, right? So we make it easier for you to find the right audience, because this is one of the key components in the outbound. All right. And the very last update that we did, and that will continue for at least the few next iteration, is we rebrand the application, and you will find now everything under the menu agent. Why we build that menu this way is because one agent will take care of all the senders from a company. So in that team, for example, you can see that we have 18 senders in the team SalesMind, and the SalesMind agent will take care to create the campaign, create the outreach and the strategy for every single person in that company, and handle that on their behalf. That's where we're heading. That's what now we have as a start. You will see in the next iteration few things that is changing from this specific screen, where we will have more information about your business and your offer to have always better messaging system. So I hope that was very useful for you. I hope you like what we are building so far. If you have any suggestion anytime, please feel free to ping us and book an assisting meeting if you need any help anytime. Please, so far, you will have somewhere here or here the follow button, the like, the subscribe, anything. So that will really help us if you encourage us by engaging with that content. So please do it. This is the right time now. 3, 2, 1. Okay, done, I hope. Great. Thank you very much for your support, everyone. Really happy to move that fast with the SalesMind team. We have been working relentlessly in the last couple of weeks, delivering everything that we're showing. So the next live going to be next Wednesday morning for assistance. If you need anything, that's going to be the right time for you to ask. And we have the team that is following up and making sure that we get answer to everyone. Okay. And otherwise, in 2 weeks, we're going to meet again here, see whatever we released, and have you take it from there. On that, thank you everyone, and have a good one.